Hopefully everything is working. Welcome to the new episode of the Games Talk Live podcast. Of course, I am Jay Fonz. Along with me every week is Hargeet Shani. Welcome, Hargeet. It's been a tough week.
Yeah, it has. It's been an interesting week. Some good stuff in the gaming world, some really bad stuff in the gaming world, and some really bad stuff in U.S. history.
Life. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the celebration of the anniversary, I should say, of a very bad day in U.S. history of September 11th. And then we had something happen the day before. We'll get into that fun.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that. Usually we sit here and we go back at the beginning of the show back and forth and we talk about what we've been playing this week. And, we'll get into that as we talk about these games. But I think there's more of a pressing issue that needs to be discussed. And I know this is a gaming podcast, folks, but this relates to gaming. It very much does. It relates to every facet of all of our lives, honestly. As you may have known, Charlie Kirk, he's a influencer. What would you call him exactly? He goes around and debates people on college campuses. And originally he went out, he's this like the head of Turning Point USA, which is conservative group. And he would go around to colleges and speak his beliefs and then have debates with people who might not agree with him. And he was unalived on the 10th of this month, just right before September 11th. And a lot of people have had there's been some civil discourse out there, but there's also been some celebrating and stuff, just disgusting behavior by a lot of people. And before we get into it, I just want to say something right now. I did watch this man do his thing every now and then. I didn't subscribe to his channel, yet if it would pop up on YouTube or whatever, I would check him out and see what he had to say. Didn't agree with everything he had to say when it wasn't analytical data or a statistical fact, but there's some beliefs he has that I don't share. But I respected the man because of how he conducted himself while he did these things, while he had these debates. I've seen a lot of people get really angry because there's some sensitive topics he would talk about. But the man shouldn't have lost his life for doing what he did. And that was using his right of freedom of speech. And I think that's the overlying thing that's really gotten to me. It's not the fact that this particular person, Charlie Kirk, has passed. It's what he stood for in that freedom of speech and America that it's affected me in a big way. And I'm surprised by that. And Hargeet, I know I was talking to you earlier and you were saying kind of the same thing. It's affected you and you don't really know the man or anything. And it's just,
It feels like we're entering into that 1960s era of like, oh, I don't agree with you, therefore I'm going to kill you. And like, that's just not the right path.
Yeah.
I've watched many of his videos as well. And like you, it's like, sometimes I agree with the opponent, like the person that he's talking to.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool. Like, but I appreciated the dialogue. I like that I get to hear both sides, right? Somebody's telling me like their view and somebody's telling me the other view. That's cool. That way I can decide what I think is right. Like where do I want to align, right? Or maybe I have a totally different perspective that they don't even see, right? And it's like, oh, okay, cool, but they don't understand these things as well, right? And it'd be awesome to be able to actually have that debate with some of these people. But that's the point, is to just have the debate. Like the whole purpose of an open democracy is that it's you openly talk about stuff and then let voters decide what makes sense to you. What do you align with, right? And then we choose the best option by the majority. That's how it goes. And like, instead of killing people, that's not the right answer. But it's not unlike heard of in our country. Unfortunately, we've had many of these incidents, and it keeps happening, and it's getting just larger and larger. There's larger topics of things that we don't need to get into, but there's been, ever since Columbine, a massive increase in just violence. And, there are probably root causes we should go look at to say, what inflection thing happened? Is it like, introduction of mind control drugs like SSRIs or something? But whatever it is, go figure it out. It'd be good to
Yeah.
find out what the hell happened. That it's like at this point, like while this was happening, there was another school shooting, and like, and you're like, why has this become normal? Like, why are we okay with this? Something's wrong, right? And you just look at all these inflection points and keep moving. It's like, okay, well, maybe we should stop and say, what the heck, right? And like, why did? And everybody wants to always run towards it's guns. It's like we've had guns forever. Why now? What has changed that it's like, oh, every couple of days we just somebody else died, whatever. Okay, why
Yeah.
passively so anyways, but this specific incident was a lot more political. It's obvious, right? And it's a lot more aligned with certain viewpoints. Fair enough. And all that on its own is fine. It's the reactions that just really get to me. You know, in general, I don't go after people in this arena, right? You make stupid statements, I'll go after the statement. I'm not going after you. I don't want to go after you, right? It's just about the statement. Like, what can we talk about as far as the topic? And the reason I do that is because I don't like the idea of hurting people. It's not about that. It's about the topic. It's about the world of gaming. And like, people want to go above that and say, I don't agree with you, therefore you need to go away. It's like, no, that's not the answer. And the people dancing on graves, I don't, it's just not, and this is why I don't
It's
do anything with
disgusting.
Apple. Apple did that exact thing. And I'm like, so when Steve Jobs said, put up fucking nets around the building, when people jumped off and killed themselves because they had no life left because they were making his damn products. Yo, I just couldn't even imagine how that would enter your brain. To me, I'm like, the only answer is I'm horrified. I'm going to fly out there today and I'm going to figure out what's going on. We're not going to make that is absolutely never going to happen again. We're going to make those families whole. Like, that should be the answer. That was not his answer. And I'm like, okay, fuck you, Apple. I'm never going to do business with you. Right. So unfortunately, this is where it enters into the gaming world because some people had to put their foot in their mouth and do some stupid ass shit. So we will get into that.
Yeah, definitely. First I want to just say this. If you are watching me or listening to me, this is Jay Fonzarelli here, and you feel like a person such as Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump, or any other conservative out there is just a racist, bigoted, hurtful, harmful, disgusting person, Nazi even, I've heard that been thrown around, then I don't think you'll like me too much either. Because one thing that I think a lot of us tiptoe around in the gaming industry or the gaming scene here on podcasts and stuff is our political affiliations and what we believe and stuff. Because I feel like that has no bearing in the gaming space, you know, that it shouldn't have anyway. But for me, I am not a conservative, but I lean more conservative. I consider myself more a libertarian, but I lean more that way than I do the left. And when I see this rhetoric that people are saying that, oh, all conservatives are Nazis, which is insane. It's an insane thing to say. You're talking about my dad, who was an immigrant to this country, who came here with nothing, became a naturalized citizen, and always taught me good values and gave me the moral compass to live the life in a way where I'm proud of. And if me being proud of that, of him and being an American makes you upset in any way, I don't want you here. And it's not that because I don't care. Because before the show, I told Hargeet, I said, you know, I don't care anymore. I'm not going to tiptoe around it. No, it's not that I don't care. It's because I do care. I caught myself instantly. I said, no, it's because I do care. And again, this was a man, a father, a son, a husband, shot down in his prime for his freedom of speech. If we can't have freedom of speech in this country, and I've seen a lot of speech on political sides that I don't align with whatsoever, and some of it is pretty damning and hurtful to me. But they have that right. And I'm all for it. You can have that right. That is what America is about. America is about that freedom. And if we can't have that, then what are we? And that is the biggest issue that I take away from this. And that is what's really just affected me this week, is the fact that somebody wanted to silence that freedom of speech. Silence part of what we are given as a right here. One of the things somebody asked me the other day, because I'm somebody who will talk about conspiracy theories, we'll talk about how our government isn't always great. And that's fine. Like, but at the end of it all, I am proud of our Constitution. I am proud to be an American. And if that hurts you or affects you in any way, I don't need you here. I simply don't. I have no racist bone in my body. I don't feel like I am that bigoted person or whatever you may think I am. But at the end of the day, I am just me. And I 100% support this Constitution and all its amendments, and where the First Amendment starts. Somebody told me this on Twitter. I have to say this because I put some posts up on Twitter regarding the situation. And somebody said, well, isn't it trying to silence freedom of speech when you're going after these people that are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk? And I said, no, because if you know your First Amendment, you would know that your freedom of speech ends at advocating for violence. That is not protected under the First Amendment. Yeah. And here we have, and we'll get into the gaming aspect here, Hargeet, Drew Harrison, one of many developers that came out there. This one is the Sucker Punch creative director. She had said on Twitter, on Blue Sky, everybody went to Blue Sky, all the developers. Oh, it's such a hate-filled place on Twitter. We need to find a better place for us. So let's go to Blue Sky. It's such a nicer place here. And then you type something like this, you idiot. Complete idiot. She said, I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his big bro got his back. Meaning in prison. Luigi being the guy that shot the CEO of United Healthcare. Insane that she said this. And not only that, Hargeet, you had several other employees there at Sucker Punch that liked this post.
Yeah. I mean, first to your freedom of speech thing, let's point out freedom of speech is that you're not be prosecuted by the government. That does not take away any social responsibility for whatever you say. And freedom of speech works both ways. If I don't like your ideas, I can easily say, I don't like your ideas. That's my freedom of speech, right? So just be careful with that, right? So yes, you can have your version of whatever you want to say, and then somebody else might say, well, I don't agree with you. That's a bad idea. And advocacy is totally fair. Right? You can advocate, hey, let's be nicer people. Let's be so that's totally there. It's the government can't put you in jail, which by the way is happening across the pond, where they are in fact putting people in jail for their freedom of speech. That is wrong. That's the protection we have in this country. I've lived outside this country for a couple of years, and you realize just how unbelievably blessed we are to live here when you don't have it, when it's gone, when you live somewhere else and all those freedoms are gone. Right. All the beauty of our life is gone. The massive wealth we have is gone. You understand what it means to be in this country. We are unbelievably blessed. And then you complain, and I'm like, I don't understand your complaints. And I get it. You should complain. It's fine. I get it. But for me, it's laughable when we have people here complaining because you're inventing shit when people literally in India didn't have food, toilets, clean water. You complain about bullshit. And I'm like, what? Why are you complaining? You guys are running around with $1,000 phones. That's more than they'll make in a year. And you're sitting here complaining. I'm like, why are you? I get it. I get that everything looks to you like the world is bad. But I'm like, please look below you and see all the people, billions that have nothing, and understand where you are before you start complaining. But
I lived in the Philippines for 7 years, and I remember how it was there. Oh my gosh. The bathroom situation and everything. Yeah, it completely different.
Right.
But that's just the way it is. And when it comes to freedom of speech, here's the thing, Hargeet. I don't even bat an eye at people out there having a difference of opinion when it comes to Charlie Kirk himself. If they say he's racist, I don't believe he's racist. That's just my thoughts. But if
But
you
that's your
say he's
feelings,
racist,
fine.
that's your feelings. I don't have a problem with that. That is, we can have civil discourse on this or not.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. But when you start celebrating the death of somebody that was simply speaking his mind and his
Yeah.
beliefs, we have a big problem. And
Yep.
I had unfollowed a lot of people on Twitter, on Blue Sky, and I
Yeah.
thought I was going to unfollow somebody that's a close friend of mine last night. Happens to be one of my friends that happens to be black. We had a good conversation about this. He let out a lot of stuff, and I didn't agree with everything he said, but I'm not somebody who can place myself in his shoes. He's lived a different life than I have, and vice versa. And so even though we disagree on some things, at the very end of it, we agreed to disagree, and we're still good friends.
Yeah.
That's what it should be about. This is what America is all about. We don't all
And
have
what
to agree
Charlie
on
was
everything.
advocating for was just have
Exactly.
that dialogue, just talk instead of like
Exactly.
just creating isolation and echo chambers. Just talk. And this is why I'm one of the few that say to all, and this just putting it back in our context, for all the people on the PlayStation side, please come out to June Showcase. Let's all sit together. Let's talk. We're about playing games.
It's a great
We
time.
should not be about hating each other. I don't like that. That's why I only attack the ideas. I want you all to enjoy with us, right? That's the whole point, right? So like that, I agree with that. Now, as far as this specific controversy with Sucker Punch, it's it's sad that people feel like this. I just don't like dancing on graves. I don't care what side. I don't even care if it's Hitler. I don't want to kill people. So Osama bin Laden was murdered by murdered was taken out, let's say, by our military. I'd have preferred that guy was brought to the world courts because he's caused chaos across the planet, and he should have been tried and convicted of all the crimes, right? Brought to justice. And I don't dance on his graves. I don't want to celebrate anybody being killed, dying. It's just not my thing. I prefer we have standard justice, right? And that's the way it is. Now, am I going to, say it was a bad thing that happened? He was killed. Fine. It is what it is. I don't like it. I would have preferred he was just brought live. Here you go, world court. Try this person. Yes, he did stuff on our end, and maybe that's the biggest, but he did stuff in the Middle East. He did stuff in Europe. He did stuff all over the place. So he should have been brought to justice at the world court because he's done plenty of worldwide damage, right? Mm-hmm. He's gone, whatever. At least that's what we understand. He's gone. So it is what it is. I don't like dancing on anybody's grave. I just don't. It's just not the right thing to do. It shows my character if I do that, right? And I want to always try to do things with peace and love. I understand war has to happen. I understand that battles have to happen, but I hate the whole thing on both sides with Gaza and Israel. I don't want anybody dying. I think the whole thing sucks. Same. It is what it is, right? We have another one with Ukraine, and like if you look at Ukraine and Russia and the amount of people who have died, it is just heartening. It's so bad. How many people have to die for something that's so useless? Like, what the heck? It's over some stupid land area where they want to run pipelines. It's like, are you kidding me? People have to die in this level. It's just so sad to me that this is what we do. But anyway, it is what it is. As far as Sucker Punch, they fired that person that put out that tweet, and that's at least a step. I don't think it's enough. And, I want to see something from Sucker Punch, from PlayStation, from Sony saying, that's not us.
I'm glad you mentioned that because we did get something from across the pond at Microsoft. Believe it or not. Let me try to get it up on the screen here. Share screen. Where can I shoot? I can't. Oh no, I'm using a different browser. Oh, anyways, this is what they said at Microsoft. They came out with this statement today. We're aware of the views expressed by a small subset of our employees regarding recent events. We take matters like this very seriously, and we are currently reviewing each individual situation. Comments celebrating violence against anyone are unacceptable and do not align with our values. Now, I expect a statement like this from either Sucker Punch or Sony. For me, they have to come out with something like this and say something. Now, I saw a little clip earlier of another YouTuber, I'll call him, saying that they don't need to get involved. They don't need to get involved into any politics or anything. When you have fucking people at your fucking place of employment advocating for violence, I don't give a fuck what you think, Reforge. I'm going to name you Reforge. You must come out and say, hey, that's not something we align with. We're getting rid of it. It's nonsense. What are we doing?
If you want to talk about something, you have to disassociate yourself from your company altogether, right? And then you can, but if you have in your bio, hey, I work at so-and-so, guess what? People know that then. Yep. And you're going to represent that company. And that company wants to stay neutral on all these things. That's just the way it is, right? A company as big as like the second biggest company on the planet, Microsoft, is going to say, we don't want to piss off anybody, right? That's just not a good idea. And political violence sucks. That's not a place they want to be. So, like, no, they understand that. And like, they, by the way, have a very politically active person from their company named Bill Gates. Do they want violence against him? Because there are plenty of people who don't like him. But he goes out there and does stuff. Good, bad, I don't care. You can make that judgment as your own political views. That's fair, right? But they don't want anybody shooting him, right? Yeah. So should Microsoft then say, hey, wait a minute, like, we could be the ones targeted by this?
Yeah.
Yo, that's just not what we want. Like, no that's just stupid. So no, I agree with what they're saying. You have to represent. If you say in any way you're associated with us, no, it's got to be clean. You can't do this kind of stuff. And advocating for violence just is terrible. I like, why? Like, you know, the best thing to do in this kind of case is RIP and let it go, or just shut up. Just don't say anything.
Yeah, and here's the thing: unless, like, you know, I'm taking notes of these developers because there was others as well that were either liking posts that were advocating for violence or celebrating. This one was the biggest one, though, from Sucker Punch. And I've been looking forward to Ghost of Yotei now for years, you know, especially since Ghost of Tsushima was my absolute favorite game from the PS4 generation. And I was looking forward to this. But I can't, in good conscience, buy something made by a bunch of people that are okay with somebody getting shot for their freedom of speech. That is apprehensible. That is just disgusting. And I think that they fired this one person that said it, but there were several others that liked the post. So at the very least, Sucker Punch needs to come out and address it. If they don't, it's simply not a buy for me.
Yeah, and hopefully they do. I really like you. Ghost of Tsushima was my favorite PlayStation game. It still is. I love that game. It's great. Yeah. And I still have high hopes for Ghost of Yotei, but it is making me hesitate. That's just not cool. It's the only way you can actually do anything is by voting with your dollars in this kind of situation, right? So, you know, if they don't want to relent, fine, that's great. If they don't want to come out and say this is a bad idea, yeah, unfortunately, I would just not buy it. That's what I did with Apple. They have never come out and publicly apologized for that statement that I'm aware of. And I just cannot do business with a company whose head said that that statement was so like ridiculous to me that I can't even. Who comes up with that in their head? That just, it would never even occur to me. But that's what he said, and I'm like, okay, I could just never do business with this company if that's your attitude, right? Like, I'm all set, and like, it needs to be about that. It needs to be that people understand this is about humanity. Literally, his wife and children were there watching him while he bled out to death. That is just, come on. If you're gonna dance on the grave of somebody like that, that's just so wrong. I just can't even imagine. Yeah, it's just so bad. But anyway,
Danny Passion Official, thank you for the 2. He says, thank you guys for talking about this incident. Yeah. No, I mean, it resonates with a lot of Americans out there. It really does.
It's more than Americans. It's all over the world. There's people, you know, doing candlelight vigils and mourning, and like it's more than just here, right? He was a voice for a lot of people. Fair enough. And whether you agree or disagree doesn't matter. You know, political violence is something that people are just really sick of. And it's happening everywhere in the world, that people just get killed for their opinions, put in jail for their opinions. Like, come on, this has got to stop.
Yeah. Graybeard Gaming with the 5. Thank you, Graybeard. He says Obsidian didn't comment on the racial slurs from the art director because they agreed with him. So question mark.
It's a
Yeah,
fair
it's
assessment.
unfortunate. That's very
Yeah.
unfortunate. I don't like that they didn't, but again,
Yeah.
that's a terrible thing nonetheless. Don't get me wrong, but we are talking about somebody's life here and
Yeah.
dancing on a grave. That, man, it's insane to me. The insanity, the things I've seen the past
Yeah.
couple of days, it's just, I don't know.
And to that point, that distinction, like I've said this before, if I went against all the opinions of all the people that I watch movies for or play games, like I'd misalign with, and that's going to be the case for most of us, right? We're going to have some misalignment with whatever, right? So I usually just let that go. If it's political, like your political viewpoints, but you make like a movie that I want to watch, fair enough, I'll just watch the movie, right? It's when you cross the line when you're dancing on somebody's graves. I can't take that. That's just too far for me.
Little Evil in the chat says they're from the Netherlands, and they're outraged. Yeah, a lot of people are around the world. I've seen South Korea. I've seen Britain. I've seen just everywhere.
Italy, Madrid, right, in Spain, Germany. I've seen stuff all over the place.
Yudani, that's such a great point. Yudani Kusada says, people need to be reminded that they can just shut the fuck up. Blue Sky has created a cesspool of echo chamber of people filleting themselves over increasingly radicalized rhetoric. And that's 100% true. It's 100% true. And while we do have that stuff on X, it's just kind of ironic. The reason why they supposedly left X was because of those issues. Because of that radicalized rhetoric. Yet they're okay to do the total opposite. Yet still just as disgusting. Because yes, you do have disgusting people on the extreme right. I agree with that. You've got them on both sides.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we've had political violence on both sides. Targets for both sides, right? But yes. I don't know who did what, but I'm sure there are people on the right who've done bad things too. Fair enough. But like we've had a Democrat, I mean, it was Speaker of the House of Minnesota, something like that, where she voted with the Republicans, and apparently that pissed off some Democrat, and they went and killed her family. I'm like, that's horrific. Like, I 100% disagree with socialism and communism. And we have people like on the left with AOC and Bernie and Mamdani, right? I don't want them to die. I want to outdo their thoughts. I want to represent. I want people to come up and say, like, here's what we think. Choose our path because of this, or choose their path because you agree with it. That's it. That should be the end of it. We let the voters decide.
Yeah.
But I do not want to see violence against any of these people. It's just so wrong.
Yeah. Face 23 BKNY with the 1999. Thank you, Face. He says, I'm still buying Ghost of Yotei. I don't agree and don't care for one or a couple of studios developers' opinions. It does not represent the whole Sucker Punch studio. I can agree with that statement. However, for me, I mean, we all draw the line somewhere. And for me, it's a bit different. For me, it's much bigger than that. And you could disagree with me on the situation with Charlie or whatnot, but Face, here's the difference. You're not advocating for violence. And I appreciate you for that. We can agree to disagree and still maintain, some sort of friendship or acquaintance. It's not Face, not an issue.
I 100% hope that PlayStation comes out and puts a statement, because you have to understand how much I love that franchise. I really do want to play that game. I want to play that game. So I really hope they do, because then I can buy it. So I'm with you. I understand there are plenty of people, I'm sure, who have the opposite view, but it's just unfortunate.
Danny Passion Official with a 10. Thank you, Danny. That's so kind. He says, I wasn't raised by my mom or dad. I am a father of 3 beautiful kids. I am 43 years old. I've only voted once in my life. Once in my country, not in America. I'm not political at all, but I believe in values. Yeah, that's great to hear, man. Like, honestly, I would encourage you to vote, what you feel is right. Don't take anybody else's opinions. Like, vote what you feel, but I encourage you to vote, because it's always a smart thing to do.
And
my opinion.
Bernie, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he did have an excellent message. Yeah, he definitely put out a great message.
Yeah, I saw
I
that
don't know
too.
when it was today or yesterday or whatever, but yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
But all right, with that, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. My heart goes out to his kids and wife. That's the
Yeah.
toughest part about it with that situation is his kids. Like, they won't know their dad. And it's insane to me that anybody would like dance on his grave when his children are it's tough. Anyways, we're gonna move on to more gaming talk here. So Hargeet, I don't know if you've tried it yet. I ended up pulling the trigger on Borderlands 4 last night.
Oh, I've been so close to that. I'm like, I don't know if I should
Okay,
buy
so
it. And then
CD
I've talked
keys.
to Jedi Knight and Red Dead Panda and blah blah. They were playing it and they love it. So
Yeah.
so
CD
Yeah.
Keys has it for $60. So that's a $10 off. Go ahead and get it. CD Keys, folks. I'm promoting a website that I don't know if it'll get me into trouble. But anyways, if you're on PC, CD Keys, $60. It's a good buy. Borderlands 4, for me, this is my experience. So I bought the game, downloaded it, and the whole time I'm on the chat with Colt, Dante, and Holly. So they were playing the game already. So they were about maybe an hour into it, and I jumped in with them. So I jumped in with them and I automatically went to where they were at. So I skipped the prologue and everything. It just put me where they were at, gave me the jump pack and everything that they had automatically. So I'm running around with them playing this multiplayer last night, and we played for a good 4+ hours together. I had fun with it. There was times I was called away, my kids and stuff, but in any case, for me, it played a lot like Borderlands 3. However, the difference is for me, and this is something I have to speak on because the other people I was playing with weren't having much of a problem with it, I guess. But for me, it felt like there wasn't as many cool weapons. I wasn't picking up a lot of weapons that I liked at all. There was semi-decent weapons, and I know that they pulled back on the whole legendary thing, that they don't put as much legendary loot out there anymore. And that's not the issue, though. The issue is like the guns I was getting absolutely sucked, most of them. And I was just like, when you have a sucky gun in Borderlands, it's not that fun. Like, give me some better weapons. The open world aspect of it is fine. So far, I don't see anything good or bad with it. I think playing it alone, I might like it a bit more in the open world aspect. But when you're with other people wanting to go do other things and everybody's like, let's go over here, and everybody runs that way, and like it's just kind of disjointed for me. And I think that maybe I have to give it some time in the single player to really experience that open world a bit better, maybe go through the prologue and all that stuff. But I'm liking it. I don't hate it. I don't not like it. I think it's a good game. But I just need better guns. Please give me better guns. Like, that's what I'm
apparently
hoping
that's
for.
one of the things they changed was that you don't get as much loot or as much good loot as you did in 3. But yeah, I have not had a chance to buy it yet. There's so many games I have to play, and I keep going back to Helldivers, and it's like, well, do I play that or do I get this? But yeah, maybe I will pick it up and play it. You're on PC, I assume, or are you?
Yes, Steam.
Yeah, okay.
But it's cross-play. You can play with anybody.
Yeah, no, it's is the performance okay? Because I hear there's some issues with it.
Oh, it's part of my language. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If you are great with frame gen, it's not so bad. It's decent, but you need DLSS and frame gen for this game. If you do not do that, you're going to be playing on low settings with a 4090.
Yeah.
I went through the settings. So last night I turned it all the way down to medium. I shouldn't have to turn it down to medium on a 4090. I put it down to medium and no frame gen, and I was still dipping below 60 frames. And I was like, this is unacceptable. So I had to use frame gen. First time I've ever had to use it in a game. And I will say it doesn't feel or look all that bad in this one, but I'd rather not use frame gen. I want real frames. That's what I want. I want real frames. Before we move on, Danny wanted to finish his statement he was making earlier.
Yeah.
With a 5, he says, to finish what I was saying, when this news broke, it broke my heart. And I've cried very similar to how I felt about 9/11 back in 2001. Yeah, I think a lot of people have. Danny, thank you for that, man. And I hope that you stay being a good, proud American, man. Love it. So yeah, getting back to Borderlands 4, I saw that blue number said she changed her setting to TSR instead of DLSS. I don't know. I'll play around with the settings a bit more. I'll see how it is. But I had a great time last night. It was a lot of fun with those guys. There was one time, like, you can like summon a vehicle like right away, and I summoned my little vehicle, and I would just mess with them. I would be hitting them and stuff, playing bumper cars, honking the whole time, just to annoy them a bit. But they didn't get annoyed. They just laughed. So didn't work. Didn't work. But I had a great time with it. So I'm looking forward to playing more of it. I'll be playing more today. I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and play a game. That blue number says, oh my God, Fonz was Mad Max last night. Just constantly. I love that you can bring up the things now too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I would say, Hargeet, I think you would have a lot of fun with it. You would have fun.
Cool.
You would have fun. It just,
I like the other ones. I didn't think 3 was that bad either, but it was definitely a step down. I think like the Handsome Jack being the main villain was it was much better. So I don't know how the villain is in this one, right? But we'll find out.
Yeah. Boba Fett, you said you shouldn't need frame gen to hit 60. No, I shouldn't. Exactly. It does hit 60. It'll go up to like 80 frames without frame gen, but it'll dip below 60 at times when there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it just seems like obvious. Obviously, if we can work on a Series X and PS5, right, then it can be, made more optimized to work on a 4090.
I mean, I've said it here, and I'll continue to beat that drum. I do not like how most of the developers are using Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, and I saw somebody say it the other day. Why did they have to upgrade to Unreal Engine 5 with Borderlands 4? When it looks like Borderlands 3, like there's not much difference there, and we wouldn't have had some of these issues, I believe, if they had just stayed on Unreal 4. I don't get it, because honestly, like, it's so taxing, and a lot of it is that a lot of these developers don't know how to optimize for Unreal Engine 4. So what are we doing? Like, and we're going to keep getting this stuff. Somebody told me today, well, I bought it, and, they said that they bought a previous game that came out in Unreal Engine 5 a few weeks ago. It was a AA game. I forgot the name of it. And it was horrible. It was running like really bad. Then they optimized it like 2 weeks later, and it got better. And I said, this is the problem I have. I don't want to support a game day one if it's freaking that bad. Like, we shouldn't have to. We pay our hard-earned money for these games. Why can't you just delay the game or get it optimized before you put it out there? I shouldn't have to pay.
Especially if it's 2 weeks. And it's like, well, you could have waited 2 weeks.
Right.
Come on.
Yodani Casada with a 5 says, just created a 6700 XT eGPU set up downstairs for my ROG Ally X. Can't wait to see how games like Borderlands 4 run. You'd think cell shaded games would sing on it. Exactly. But again, there's feature sets within Unreal Engine 5 that they use that a lot of these developers don't know how to optimize for. This is what I've read on Reddit. There is no documentation on how to optimize for certain features within UE5. So they have to play around with things and try to figure it out. It can be done because people have done it. There are some decent Unreal Engine 5 games out there. Hellblade 2.
Which still came out at 30, but now it's 60, right? But what was that game? RoboCop, right? That was a UE5 game that came out, performed well, didn't have all these issues. It was UE5, but it worked. So, like, it can be done. So,
The Souza in the chat says, I wonder if Gears E-Day will have issues on Unreal Engine 5. I don't think so, because the Coalition I think they're really good with Unreal Engine 5.
I'll say this: if Xbox doesn't make sure that game hums before it comes out, because they have no reason now to push games out. They have plenty of content.
Yes.
Wait until the game is fully done, fully baked, works exactly as it should, and then it should have no issues with performance, no bugs. It should just be really, really well optimized and complete when it comes out. There's no excuse now. There was an excuse when they're like, I have no content, I have to put it out now. You have none of that problem now, especially after we've had that Nintendo Direct, which we'll get into. That Xbox has no reason to do any, we'll pull it in. There's no reason. You have to find when you can put games out that are already done. Do not ever do that. There's no reason to have games have optimization afterwards now. Just put it out when it's done.
So who remastered or made Gears Reloaded? Was it Coalition?
I don't know that it was. I will check. Let's see. Gears.
Because if it was them, Reloaded. Some people are saying it had issues. And I believe I read that too. It had issues with UE5.
Let's see if it...
No, it was Virtuous. It was Virtuous.
Okay, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Even there, I would suggest that they should have just waited then.
Preston in the chat says 30K, 30 subs till 8K Fonz. Funny thing about that, Preston, is I've been doing nothing but losing subs this past year. I was at 8,200 at one point. That should tell you something. I suck. Anyway, but I thank you for sticking around, all of you. I appreciate you, those of you. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think that, Unreal Engine 5 these developers just need to delay their games. That's it. Delay your games. Make sure it's good before you bring it out. I want to get through a couple of Nintendo topics real quick. We had a Direct this week. Mm-hmm. Many people came away with it kind of feeling mid about it. I asked my son, because he's a Nintendo fan and he plays their games. He was like, it was okay. The best thing for him was Metroid Prime 4 and the announcement of a sequel to Fire Emblem. That was the two he mentioned. And I guess they got release dates. I guess Metro Prime 4 got a release date of December 4th. So that's good. So now at least that won't be further delayed. Hargy, did you watch the Direct?
I did.
What's your thoughts?
I thought it was okay. I'll give it a 7.5 to 8 in that range, but it wasn't a wow factor, right? I was hoping there was a headliner that I cared about, and I'll be fair. Okay, look, I want that mainline Mario or Zelda. That's just the way it is. Because I'm expecting, hey, it's your launch year for a new console, and generally speaking, you have a mainline Mario or Zelda game. Now, they've made Donkey Kong that game. Okay, Donkey Kong's good, by the way. I've played it. It's pretty good. I haven't finished it, but I played it, and it's pretty fun. But it's not your mainline Mario and Zelda. And the worst thing was, you watched it, I assume?
I did not watch it. I did not watch it.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of the Directs, but
okay, then I want to do something first because I think it'll be interesting to see your take on it. Let me bring this up. Hang on. Nintendo and okay, let's see. Yep, this is it. Cool. Now let me take this and make it full screen, and let's go over here. And where's my share? Present. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of working through this myself.
That's fine. That's fine. Everybody, thank you for being here, listening, watching. Shout out to Colt in the chat. I see him. Shout out to Holly, of course. That blue number. Rachie, the Souza. You got Devil Dog in the house, says he loves watching all his faves, Colt and Mag, Xbox Era, Rand and Jez, Fonz and Hargeet. So glad you're back. So that's good. He's happy we're back. But I'm pretty upset that you put Xbox Era and Rand and Jez above me and Hargeet.
Oh, really? Who did that?
That was Devil Dog.
Wow.
That was Devil Dog. They are beneath us, sir.
This has a title, and I don't want to have the title there. I'm sorry. I know I'm like being stupid, but I just want to make it because I want to get your true experience of this to see what it's like. Okay, here we go. Let me just make sure we're right. And yeah, perfect. All right, and I'm gonna pause. And
something's
make sure I get that window. What happened?
No, I'm just saying something's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, it's not a bad thing. I just want to see your reaction to it because my reaction was very different than what ended up happening. So that's the wrong window. I'm just gonna have to.
Oh man, did they bring out? Did they bring back the Labo? Was it the Labo again?
Cardboard? Oh, they did something like that too. But okay, here we go. Got it. Share. Okay, so I want to run this. All right,
there you go.
All right.
Do we get sound?
Yes. Do you have sound? Do I not share sound?
I don't hear sound.
Okay. Let me go over and make sure I did share it with sound. Let me remove that and then add to stage.
Technical difficulties. First time we're using.
Yeah, it's just because we're using StreamYard, so I'm not. Let's see. Share. Also share sound. It's set to on. Oh. To share audio, share a tab or screen instead. Okay. All right. So if I do that, then I have to bring it over here. That's fine. I'll do that. That was kind of annoying.
Exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. Let me bring this over here back to, I guess I have to do it on Chrome, which is fine. And okay, we're here. Good.
Exclusive.
Exclusive. All right. And now I can go back here and share that. Let's go back to Chrome, Nintendo Direct with audio this time. Hopefully.
Why not take the opportunity?
Yes? There it is.
Also, coming next spring, please take a look at this.
Ask for that. Who wanted the Super Mario Galaxy movie?
Okay, so now do you understand? Like I thought that was freaking trolling me. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. That's the. It's like I thought this was the game. I'm like, holy shit, yes! If it looks this good, this is awesome. This is what I've been waiting for. And then it's the movie. Now I'm not against the movie. That's fine. I'm happy that it's a movie. And sorry that took a while to figure out. But
yeah, and the Sousa said in the chat, copyright strike incoming. You played a Nintendo trailer. That's going to be a copyright strike right there.
I hope they don't have a problem with that. But anyway, but yeah, so I watched that and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm still happy that there's a movie coming. That's fine. That's great. I like, and one of the interesting things just from a family perspective, my nephew will watch only a couple of movies through, and he's a baby. He's like 3 years old. The Paw Patrol movie and Mario Brothers. So I'm actually looking forward to this because I think he'll actually like it because it's got that kind of childlike vibe. That's great. I love that. That's awesome. However, I was expecting the game, and like that wasn't the headliner. Like that's what I wanted, and it wasn't there. And so that kind of made the whole show like, okay, yeah, it's cool. We got the Metroid Prime release date. Good. For those who are interested in Fire Emblem and in Pokemon, they got those, right? So that's great. There were a bunch of other announcements that were cool here and there, right? But like a lot of it's, hey, you're getting Resident Evil. Okay, but everybody else already has that. It's like, yeah, that's fine. So fine. There was a couple of things like that. Mortal Kombat doesn't have the blood again. I don't know what the else is going on with Nintendo and Mortal Kombat and blood, but they have Mortal Kombat Legacy, whatever the collection coming over. And, that's awesome. That's great. There were a little couple of games here and there that looked like they were kind of fun, awesome. But again, it just didn't have that headliner for me. I wanted to see one of those mainline, Mario or Zelda games, and I didn't see that. And I'm like, this is your launch year. Why haven't you done that? And I don't want to take away from the fact that, look, they have a Metroid Prime coming out. They have a Pokemon coming out. These are huge games. They had a Mario Kart World, Mario Kart World, right? Yeah, that's the one that launched. They had Donkey Kong. Like, these are big games. It's fine, but it just felt like this was a letdown because I didn't see that mainline game that I just expect every time you launch a console. You're gonna have that, and they chose Donkey Kong as their mainline game. Like, oh, fine. I know Mario Kart's gonna sell like a lot of copies. That's great. I wanted that Zelda game. I wanted that Mario game. I didn't get it. So that was kind of my thoughts of it. So
but a little late to the topic, bud, but Lodic here says, I know all of you Americans says it's not the weapons, but come on. In EU, we don't have them. And we don't have school shootings and gun violence every day. But what you do have is almost 4,000. Listen, almost 4,000 deaths a year by knives. And guess what America has? About 1,500 deaths a year by knives. So maybe you guys should look into banning knives over there in the EU.
Unfortunately, violence is violence. People do bad things. It is what it is, right? Like somebody, wasn't there like an incident where they had somebody drive a truck or whatever into a crowd? I think it's happened here and there. Like in Boston, we had a marathon bombing with people with pressure cookers and nails. Are we going to get rid of those? Right? Like, implements are implements. It's really the person behind it, the people talking. Like they're
going to get the gun.
People holding that weapon. Like, it's just, this is one shot. It could easily have been somebody shaking his hand. Like, and you have to have the mentality and understanding that we are all people, and you can't just do that. That was the whole point of all that. Anyway, whatever. But actually, what we were talking about was people dancing on his grave, right?
Yeah.
Like the violence.
That's what we were talking about. Yeah, we're not talking about gun control here.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's a separate topic. Yeah. But yeah, dude, watching that trailer makes me feel like at the beginning, like, oh yeah, you're getting another Mario game. And then they show you that Mario Galaxy movie. And the first thought I had is what I said. Who asked for that?
Which I'm happy that they're making the movie. It's fine. I so wanted that to be the game. I just so wanted that to be the game. Like, give me the game. But anyway, whatever.
100% Yodani Quesada. You're just hitting the nail on the head every freaking comment here. It says we in the USA also have a mental health issue that is accelerated by social media use at a young age. It's not even at a young age. It's at an impressionable age. Like, anybody who has an impressionable mind, even if they're a young adult, they're going to be following some weird stuff that goes on social media. A lot of people are poisoned by it. I call it poison. Social media is complete poison. Yeah. It's awful.
I don't. It's not all bad, but there's a lot of bad stuff.
Oh, there's so much with bad.
Right. And it's some of it's useful, I'm sure. But as you guys know, I am not on social media because of this kind of thing. The vitriol it's just not necessary, and it just keeps you clean in your soul. There's just no point. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna get involved with that crap.
Yeah. Anyways, we won't go back to those topics. We're going to continue on here. And here's the other part of this whole Nintendo thing this week, and we have to talk about this. What is up with this insane patent that they just acquired?
Oh my goodness.
Now, apparently this patent lays claim to mechanics in which a player in the game can summon a creature or another character to fight for them.
You mean like every a wizarding game, like every
World of Warcraft. There's so many games out
there. Final Fantasy,
PoE 2.
Like, that is a terrible thing. Like the Elder Scrolls games. Like what did they?
So my question to you, Hargeet, though, is like, should these other companies worry about this?
Yes. But I don't think it's enforceable. The problem that they have is, they're trying to patent something that's been around longer than their game. So I don't think it's viable for them to suddenly patent things that have been around. And like, you could take that back and say, well, isn't summoning something that's been around in literature forever? Like, can't you go back even thousands of years and say somebody can summon a ghost or summon a whatever? And like, so come on, like I just don't see how that's even possible. So they're saying, oh, it's within a game mechanic. Okay, well, that's been around too forever. Bard's Tale and Many games like in the 80s did that. Like, what is that somehow not doable anymore? Do they have claim? Who owns Is that Microsoft now owns Barstow? I think they do. I think they actually own that now. Could they have make the claim to say no, we've had this game forever, you can't patent? This is a stupid patent. I don't like being
how
able
did they
to
get away
patent.
with this? How?
I don't because the person approving the patent didn't think it through or just didn't understand gaming. And I hate the idea of patenting game mechanics itself. I just think that's a bad idea. IP, fine, right? Mario, okay, you want to patent Mario? Okay, fine, I get that one, right? But you want to patent the ability to jump? Like,
Exactly, right?
Come on, there's a level of stupidity in these things that you just have to like say that's absurd. And the famous example we have is they patented the Nemesis system, and that is now dead. It's like because the studio is gone. Who's using that? Maybe you could say, hey, the ownership of that patent is Warner Games. Are they using it anywhere? No. And it's the cool thing about taking something that somebody came up with as a game mechanic is to be able to iterate on it and make a different thing that makes it even more fun, right? And if you take that innovation away, how are we expanding the industry? And like game mechanics are game mechanics. They have to be kind of somewhat iterative. It's just the way it is, right? So I don't know at what point you say, hey, there's some point of validity that you should be able to take a game mechanic and lock it down. But a general broad, you can summon a creature and that creature fights for you. Come on, that's like in so many games. Like, what are you talking about? How can they take that as a thing that they can patent? I think the whole thing is a bad idea. Should they be worried? Yes, because it is possible for Nintendo to sue. However, I think if they do, some of these bigger companies are going to just get that patent revoked because there's just no way around it.
Can you do that? You can revoke a patent?
You can go to a lawsuit and say that this is invalid. I don't know if the full procedures of having a patent revoked. I'm sure there's a way. There's got to be a way.
Because I'm sure this is going to have people in the industry afraid to put out a game with a summoning character to fight for them then.
Which is just impossible. Like
Future.
Like how many games have characters that you summon? It's so prevalent.
It is.
Right? How like the Persona games, like literally you summon a persona. That's literally the whole game. Persona is you summon a persona. Like, so what do we get rid of those? Like the whole thing's crazy. Like it would just invalidate so many games. It's constant. It's pervasive throughout a lot of different genres, a lot of different games. I just can't see how that's a viable thing to do. You could say even a game where you clone yourself. Like then there's the altars where you do that. Are they doing things on your behalf? Okay, so does that count? Like, dude, no. This would just kill gaming. You can't have that kind of broad level bullshit. Like, come on.
Yeah, all the minions you summon in wizard games and stuff, like it's crazy.
It's everywhere. Like
Soil Tech in the chat says patent expires after 17 years. Yeah, don't worry, it's only 17 years, guys. What's up, Soil
17 years of no games. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Danny Bastion official with the 2 says, Hargeet, are you playing Silk Song?
No, not yet. I of all the things, I just haven't gotten to it. There's so many games I haven't started yet. And unfortunately this week has been busy just work wise. And then we had the fun little thing on Wednesday.
And then Thursday.
And then like I've just been kind of working and then haven't really had time to play. So the little I've played, it's been Helldivers. But yeah,
so Silk
I want
Song,
to get to some games.
To touch on Silk Song a bit there for you, Danny. My son has been playing it, and the amount of like frustration I hear coming from him for that game. He told me it is so hard. He's like, Dad, you don't understand. They made it so hard now. And I've seen online, I looked it up, and I guess there's people that have quit the game because they're saying it's too hard.
Yeah. I mean, those are platformers. I'll be fair. Like I did the same thing with Ninja Gaiden Black 2. I started it up and got to a point of like the platforming, and I'm like, oh, dude. After the 4th time of like just dying because I didn't get the angle right, I'm like, God, the hell with this. I'm just done. move on.
Game Seeker with a 5 says GTL rules. Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate
let's
that.
go, Game Seeker.
Game Seeker's awesome. Yeah, I just thought the patent was crazy. We just had to bring that
Yeah,
up.
it's
Yeah,
nuts.
they need to get that revoked. In other news, we have fans of Naughty Dog and the upcoming game Intergalactic want to see more of the game, but Neil Druckmann doesn't want to give that timeline just yet. Apparently in an interview he had recently, he says, quote, "I've said this before, but I really mean it. I'm really feeling it right now. It's the most ambitious game we've ever made. It's the most expensive game we've ever made. And he says maybe the most expensive by the time we finish it."
Nice.
He also goes on to say, a game like this, especially when it's a new IP, is especially this is not written right. Anyways, when it's coming out of Naughty Dog, you've got to coordinate with a bunch of marketing, with PR, with a bunch of people. So it'd be foolish for me to start saying when we're going to show something again. So, Hargeet, are you excited for Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet? And are you bummed we won't see anything in the near future?
So when I saw the first trailer, I thought it was like, hey, you know what? I can give this a chance. It's kind of like a retro 80 look game, and looks like it could be something interesting. I just want to see more of the gameplay. What is the gameplay loop? What are they trying to do with it? Right. So, and then we saw the reaction was not very good. That wasn't my reaction. I was like, oh, I'll give it a chance. It's fine. But the online reaction to the video, it has a lot of negative, dislikes versus likes. I think it was like 2.5 times more dislikes. I can go look again, but it was a lot more dislikes than likes.
Yeah.
That actually surprised me. I didn't think it would get that much. You had not liked it because of the main protagonist, right?
I'm not a fan of the main protagonist with the shaved head and stuff, but I can even get past that. For me, it's honestly, it's not, and I'm not saying I wouldn't try it or whatever. If it's reviewed well, no, I can't even say that, because The Last of Us 2 was reviewed very well, and I did not care for that story. It all comes down to Neil Druckmann's writing. That's what it comes down to for me. I am not a fan of what he's done with The Last of Us 2. And I just don't know how this one's going to be, what he's going to do with the writing here. Hopefully it's a good game. I'm not wishing ill will on it. I want it to be a good game.
I mean, my expectation is, hey, if it's going to be PC whenever it comes out to PC, I'll take a look at it. But when it comes out, if it's in the interest arena, it seems to have the kind of gameplay I want to play, I'll give it a chance. I did not pick up Last of Us 2. The story had leaked. I had pre-ordered Last of Us 2 when they announced it. But then when the story leaked and it's like, you did what to Joel now? Okay, I'm out. I'm good. So I just stopped. And I know people love that game, and some people hate that game. And I'm like, I don't even want to deal with it. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm the latter, and not and getting rid of Joel is the least of your concerns with that story. It's so just stupid. Anyways, let's talk about the Ubisoft franchise, Far Cry.
Ooh.
Supposedly, it will have a more predominantly pushed multiplayer aspect in the next game, according to the CEO. It's codenamed Maverick, and this is some of the stuff that they're talking about here. It's a new title in the franchise. It'll be an extraction-based multiplayer Far Cry game set in the Alaskan wilderness. So the goal will be to drop in, loot, get out safely, but you'll be battling others and harsh weather, plus wildlife, bears, wolves, that sort of thing. So unfortunately, it doesn't sound like it's going to be for me. And I love the Far Cry series, but this is taking a complete just 180. This is multiplayer extraction shooter all the way. And I'm not a fan of those.
That's weird. So I associate Far Cry with kind of an open world, much like an Assassin's Creed, where it's an open world, with a lot of different points of interest,
Yeah,
and you go to those points of interest and do stuff, and there's storylines with all of it. And this seems it's not going to have the main like story driven gameplay. That does kind of take away from it. I wouldn't mind if it's co-op. That would be fantastic. I'd be happy to do that. The other ones had that too, right? I think the other ones
had co-op. They had co-op.
Yeah.
But you were able to go out throughout the world and do everything you could do single player. So I don't know why they're doing this. It's an extraction shooter. That's what this is. This is just a multiplayer extraction shooter.
Again, that's chasing the trend of like live service type games. But oh man, like, do they have to keep like if you want to do that, like do something that's going to be interesting and do it separately. But a lot of those fail. It's tough to do, and I just hate them like besmirching the game.
I think you I think you said that word, and it's the word that comes to my mind. I think it's going to fail.
Yeah, I just want a Far Cry. Just give me a Far Cry. I just want a normal Far Cry. I'd be happy to play that. I don't know what like the sales trajectory is for those things. That's the problem they have, I'm sure. But it's sad that unfortunately isn't happening more, that people would like those kind of games. But I liked them. I enjoyed them. I played the Far Cries. I think I played every single one of them now. No, I haven't played. Was it New Blood? So there was something with Far Cry. There's a separate one. I haven't played that one.
Okay.
What was it called? Blood something, I think. I don't know what something.
I forgot.
Far Cry 3 something.
Wait, is that the Far Cry 3, the one that they changed up?
Like,
the aesthetic was different. It was more like
there was a Far Cry 4 and then Primal. I think it was 4.
And then you had Far Cry 5 with the religious cult. And then
I played all
6.
those.
Yeah, you had
and
6.
I played 6.
Yeah,
yep.
Me too.
I played 3.
Yeah, I didn't play the one you didn't
Blood
play
Dragon.
either. Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon. That's the one. That's the one.
I didn't play
that one yet.
BT
I heard it was good,
by the way, in the chat said, I love when they give their code names when they name them after me. Yeah. Maverick, they did. They named it after you. Codename Maverick. Yodani Quesada with a $5. Thank you, Yodani. He says, Druckmann's games are best played a week after release on YouTube, holding a fake controller with a hose connected from your fart maker into the gas mask.
Wow.
That's
nice.
That's a zinger.
Nice, Yodani. Nice.
Damn. Druckmann's games are best played a week after release on YouTube, holding a fake controller with a hose connected to a fart maker into a gas mask. Insane.
Oh.
Interestingly enough, that's how most PlayStation guys play their games. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So anyways, that's kind of disappointing to hear. I hope they're making a normal Far Cry. I just want a normal Far Cry. I don't think Far Cry 6 did the numbers they wanted, I think. So that's sad. I still thought it was good. I guess I don't know if it was good. It wasn't good enough for most people, I guess, but I found it fun enough. I finished it. So
yeah, what is that blue number talking about? Fonz and Hargeet, I told you. What did I say yesterday about the smug? What is that about? What is that about, Holly? Please expand. Smugness in the same room. Oh, the farts. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, wear a gas mask, people. Yeah, I just think it's a crazy departure though from the original franchise. Yeah. I'm not liking what I'm hearing or what I'm reading. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to these Far Cry games. I want them the way they were, except I do want them to put a mode in where you could see your character when you're walking around and stuff too. Like I can go back and forth from first person to third. I love that in games. Like I like to be able to see my character from time to time, especially when they allow you to like change their clothes and stuff. I say this all the time because me and Colt, we love doing that. Like I've said it before on this show too. It's almost like Barbie dress up in a game. I'm guilty of it. I'll sit there and I'll play a game, and I will spend so much time in a game just creating my character's look, especially at the beginning of the game, you know, all the facial features and stuff, and then body features, and then you put the clothes on, and then when you find new clothes or new gear, you're like, oh my God, this armor looks so cool. I'm going to put this on. And you I end up spending hours doing this sort of stuff, but I like it. I'm sorry, but I do. No, I'm not sorry. I do like it. Hey, Fonz, will you be playing Metro Prime 4? Seems like a Nintendo title. You would, yeah. I probably will play that game. I like Metroid.
I think
I've
it's
been waiting
both,
for that
right?
game.
It's Switch and Switch 2. So yeah, do you have a Switch 2 yet? I think you do, right?
I have a
No, you
Switch.
don't? Okay.
We have 2 Switches.
You have a Switch.
So
yeah, so you can play it on the Switch. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I still and they showed you had this like bike, right, in the trailer. Oh, you haven't seen the trailer.
Wait a minute. I did see the trailer. I looked it up.
Okay.
Yeah. But here's the thing though about Metroid. So my son was talking to me about this emulator on my PC that he has. So I don't have to play on the Switch 2. Technically. Yeah. So
that's how I played whatchamacallit, was the last Zelda name.
I'm not advocating for any kind of, you know,
piracy.
Eye patch.
Yes. Yeah. I played Tears of the Kingdom that way. I bought the game, I have it, but digitally, but I just wanted to play it with the higher frame rate, so I played it on emulated. But yeah, you can do that. Since it is a Switch game, that still should work. So that's
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything at all.
Switch 2 should have higher frame, higher res. So whatever.
PC should have higher frames, higher res.
Yeah, but they won't have better textures, right? And that's even though I was running at a higher frame rate and it was upscaling, it still was what the game is, right? Yeah. So it would be awesome. Like
it just performs
if that Mario game was actually made and was put out on PC and I could render it on my 4090. And
you would love it.
God, would that be? I would be in heaven. Why can't they just do that, Nintendo? Please.
And that's what you told me before the direct. You were like, I just want them to show me something new with Mario. That's what I want. I want Mario.
I want Mario.
And they gave you Mario for the movie.
Anyway,
Nintendo's not going to like this at all. He said first you play the trailer, now you say the word emulator.
Yeah.
Oh,
again, if they would just give me the game there, right? Like I have your Switch 2, I have your Switch, I like all of it. I buy all this stuff. It says I just want to play it at higher frames. So whatever, I will play on Switch 2. It's fine, but I really would prefer to have their games on PC. It would be so much better.
Yeah. I got a phone call from Sirius XM. Boy, are they freaking pushy. I canceled them a long time ago, and they always try to call me and get me back. Like, we'll give you this package for $5. No, I don't want your stupid package. I don't listen to anything there. Like, they just it's like the regular radio. They just repeat the same shit over and over. Every hour you hear the same freaking song, and I'm just like, no. I'm more of a podcast guy anyway. I like listening to, you know, my podcasts, my true crime podcasts and my Bigfoot podcasts and my alien podcasts and all that good stuff, the fun stuff. I love music too, but you know, I get sick of it when I hear the same thing over and over. I'm not one of those guys whoever was like, who was always putting songs on repeat. I hate that so much. And my wife's like that, by the way. She'll listen to a new song over and over, back to back, and it'll just drive me insane. I'm like, I'm tired of it already. But yeah, it's just me. Anyways, what were you saying?
No, that's it. I think we're good. I don't think there's nothing.
Yeah. Anyways,
really.
I don't have any other thing on my side. If you have any other thing you want to talk about, we can go for it or get out of here. It doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other major topics. Like whatever, it's good.
Guys, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. Hargeet, let everybody know where they can follow you and find you and what you're going to be on next. And will you be on Sirius XM Radio?
No, I won't. Anyways, my channel's Hargeet21 on YouTube, shop.china.us for my book. I'll be on with Web Dave tomorrow, 7 p.m. US Eastern Time. Check that out. And then with Boom on Wednesday at 7 p.m. US Eastern Time, Double Barrel Gaming. with C-Money and Doodle on Friday, 8-ish p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Friday at On Point for Gamers. And we'll be back next week. We'll talk about what's going on.
Yep.
Next week, maybe we can start thinking about, I don't know if you want to do a predictions show, because the 25th, 6th, the following week is TGS. But we can
by the way,
what's going on there. Oh yeah, the ROG Ally. We haven't talked about that.
Oh yeah, we can mention the ROG Ally. The price.
Yeah,
it's been leaked. How much? Tell everybody.
So according to Destin, I'm not like saying I know this, but Destin put this out there that he apparently got some inside info and corroborated it with Best Buy. That it's $550 for the lower tier and $900 for the higher tier. So those are the actual official prices apparently. So, but yeah, $900 for the higher tier.
Wow.
So that is how much it is. So I guess we'll find that on. I'm guessing TGS. I'm assuming they're going to announce it in TGS officially. But yeah, that's from Destin. He's put that out there. So there you go.
So real quick, at Tokyo Game Show this year, shout out to the Iron Lords podcast. I guess they're going to be boots on the ground for Insider Gaming. So congrats to them. I'm glad that they're doing something even bigger than I once thought going to TGS. It's going to be nice to see their coverage there, especially seeing all them there at Tokyo Game Show is pretty impressive because I've been a fan of theirs for years now. I mean, when I started watching them, literally, I say this all the time, but they had like 10 people in the chat. And now to see how far they've come and how many people are there. And like at one time, like I was giving Cognito advice. Like he was asking me for advice. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like looking back now, I'm like, you guys are so much bigger.
Yeah.
But
shout out to them. They do a lot of work.
They deserve it.
You know, they do a lot to make what's happening happen. So yeah.
I appreciate you, Maverick. I might bring back my podcast about all that stuff again, especially now that I have more time to do so, and I've got that place to do it in. Anyways, with that said, I want to thank everybody for coming out here today and listening to us, and I appreciate everybody listening to the first portion of our show, even when it wasn't totally about gaming. I think it was important to be said, and I stand by everything I said. I'm a proud American, and I love this country, and so is Hargeet. And we want to see you all back next week, you good people. And we will definitely talk to you then about more gaming stuff. But until then, as usual, game on.